Welcome back. In this particular topic, we are going to understand conditional statements. Before I get to the topic, you need to understand why this topic is important. Remember, the purpose of the programming language is to create solutions that can solve business problems. So when we are writing code, when we are trying to solve business problems, we are going to have multiple scenarios. To handle those scenarios, to build in that business logic, we need conditional statements and loops. So this particular topic is very, very important. It may look easy, it may look simple, but at the end of the day, this is one of the powerful concepts that you need in any programming language to solve some of the critical business problems. So shall we learn conditional statements in detail? I'll start with what conditional statements are all about. You want a certain kind of a flow when you're writing a program. To create that flow, you need certain statements. That's what we call it as conditions. Based on the conditions, you are creating some statements which will decide the flow of execution of the program. So you want a certain block of code to be executed if certain conditions are met. As the name indicates, that's why it's called conditional statements. If else, IfLif else are some of the basic foundational statements that are available as part of the conditional statements. In this particular topic, we will understand all these three types of conditional statements. I'll start with simple if statement. It has a very simple syntax. If this condition is met, execute this intended statement. As you can see, it's more about this condition and the intended or indented statement block. So whatever you have given as part of that block is going to be executed if the condition is met. The condition is generally Boolean in nature. Either it carries the value of true or false. If it is true, then the block is executed. If it is false, then we don't execute that block. For example, if marks is greater than 50, please print the student has passed the exam. Only if the marks is greater than 50, this particular statement of print will be executed. If it is not, nothing will happen because it's just a if condition. Now, if you want an alternate execution, that is if the marks is not greater than 50, you want to print, let's say for example, the student has not passed the exam. Is there any other statement that's available for you to execute? Yes. That's where we have this concept of if-else statement. So I may say that if the condition is met, that is if it is true, execute this particular code. If it is not true, you are giving an alternate piece of code to be executed. This is what is determining the flow basis the condition. If the condition is met, one block is executed. If the condition is not met, the other block is executed. So this is how the whole if-else block works. Now moving on, we also have a third part, if-elif else statements. So if and if-else statements check for single conditions. But here, if you have multiple conditions, then you can bring in this concept of if, elif and else statements. So check out this flow chart. So if the condition is met, there is a body of if that is going to be executed. If the condition is not met, again you are creating another set of conditional workflows where you say that elif, that is again you're saying else plus if. Since the condition is not met, it is else block. There again you have an if block. So you combine it and call it as elif block. There you again put across conditions like if the condition is true, a certain block to be executed. If the condition is false, again that block can be executed. So with multiple scenarios coming into picture while you are trying to build some solutions for a business problem, Such kind of building blocks can be put across so that you are able to embed the right business logic into the code. I hope this gives you a good idea of what if, elif and else statement can do for you. We also have a concept called as nested if-else statements. Nested if-else statement is we are going to have multiple conditions, and I'm going to put it as conditions within conditions. Sounds like the Inception movie? Similar to that. So we have if condition, and then we are getting into it. If this condition is executed, if this condition is true, I'm going on to the next condition. Again, if this condition is true, then execute this piece of code. So step by step, in a cascaded manner, in a nested manner, I'm executing pieces of code. As you can see on the left, you can see the condition very clearly. If condition 1 is met, if it is true, then condition 2 is checked. If it is true, then the statement block is executed. If it is not true, then I'm using elif block and I'm checking condition 3. If the condition 3 is true, then again the statement block is executed. If not, you have another set of statements that will be executed. If the condition 1 itself has not been met, if that is false, then I'm going for elif and then else statements. So this is called as a nested if. What you see in condition 1 is called as a nested if because I have put multiple if conditions under the nested loop. One by one it is going to check. Depending on the combinations, depending on the cascading effect, the result will be executed. A certain block of code will be executed. You have understood conditional statements now. You have seen multiple conditional statements. Nearly 4 of them you have seen. Now it is time for you to try hands-on.